For years, Discovery have been encouraging everyone to make your world bigger, and that is exactly what I'm now doing.
Edd China doesn't just fix cars, he builds crazy machines and breaks world records. He turned car repairs into entertainment and made the world fall in love with tools, engines, and big ideas. Join us as we explore how he did it. Edd China leaves Wheeler Dealers. Edd China stopped working with Wheeler Dealers in 2017 due to creative disagreements with the new production company, Velocity, now part of Discovery Motor Trend, which had replaced the original UK producers. Edd expressed that the new producers aimed to reduce the extensive mechanical work featured in the episodes to streamline production and cut costs. These series, where he had detailed repairs, demonstrated techniques, and educated viewers on how things functioned, were the main part of the show fans loved most. As the show transitioned from the UK to the US, the focus began to shift, with increased emphasis on buying and selling, reduced time spent in the garage, and more TV polish at the expense of educational content. Edd believed that continuing under these circumstances would reduce the authenticity of the knowledge he contributed to the show, genuine hands-on expertise. After Edd China left the Wheeler Dealers show, many fans were upset, but some took it too far by harassing Mike Brewer, even sending death threats to him and his family. Edd China, the former co-host of Wheeler Dealers, made a second video urging these individuals to stop being mean to Brewer just because he left the show. In the video, he mentioned that Mike called him over the weekend and shared that both he and his wife and daughter had been facing a lot of abuse and threats in the days following his departure from the show, which is really not cool, he stated in his video. The entire situation began when China revealed he would be leaving the show after 14 years due to the production company, Velocity, claiming the show was too hard to produce, at least in its current format. This means that the production team wants to cut back on the detailed workshop adjustments. China announced on his YouTube channel that he was leaving Wheeler Dealers due to disagreements about the show's direction. 6 days later, in another video, China shared that Brewer had called him over the weekend, mentioning that he, his wife, and daughter were facing serious online harassment, including death threats, because of China's departure from the show. In the same video, China discussed his friendship with Brewer, mentioning that while they are still friends, their relationship has definitely changed since China left. People getting upset over a TV show isn't a new thing, but it can turn into a real issue. Hopefully, China can persuade the fans to stop the harassment towards Brewer and his family, and instead just focus on moving forward with their lives. Fans speculated about a potential feud, particularly since Mike Brewer remained with the show. Both individuals have publicly stated that there was no personal fallout, yet the situation fostered significant online animosity, especially aimed at Mike. Mike later acknowledged that many people believe he dismissed Edd, but he clarified that it was Edd's decision to leave. Edd didn't just walk away, he proved that walking away wasn't the end, it was the launch pad. His achievements will leave you stunned. Edward John China, born on the 9th of May, 1971, is a well-known English TV presenter, mechanic, motor expert, and inventor. He is most famous for being the presenter and mechanic on the Discovery Channel show Wheeler Dealers. Additionally, he has made appearances on shows like Top Gear, Auto Trader, Scrap Heap Challenge, and Fifth Gear. From a young age, China showed a passion for cars and mechanics. He attended King Edward's School in Whitley, Surrey, and earned a degree in engineering product design from London South Bank University. While studying at university, he worked on his first significant project, the Casual Lofa, a driving sofa, which he built to help fund a Raleigh International expedition to Belize. After the success of the Casual Lofa, China's first role in television came in 1994 as a special effects technician for the show Father Ted. In 1998, he made a guest appearance on Top Gear Live, where he drove the Casual Lofa at the Silverstone Life Arena. In the same year, China and the Casual Lofa appeared on Jeremy Clarkson's DVD titled The Most Outrageous Jeremy Clarkson Video in the World Ever, where the casual loafer was raced at the Thruxton Circuit, much like in Wacky Races. China also made 3 appearances on Channel 4's The Big Breakfast over the years, driving the casual loafer, bog standard, and street sleeper. China was a guest on Scrap Heap Challenge, which is called Junkyard Wars in the U.S., in an episode that featured cars made from beds and sofas. That same year, China was also part of an episode of the show This Is Your Life, which highlighted Madness's lead singer, Suggs. China drove the show's host, Michael Aspel, around some of his old favorite spots and took him to the TV studios in the casual loafer. The following year, China became the resident designer for the BBC series Panic Mechanics and was also featured on a Top Gear segment called Build a Bond Car on a Budget, where he presented a Rover 800, which he bought for €200, that had been upgraded with budget-friendly Bond-style gadgets, including an ejection seat, all for just €100. In 2005, China appeared as a celebrity guest on BBC's Ready Steady Cook for a special episode of Children in Need. He also co-hosted the short-lived Auto Trader television series with Brewer. This series was aired on the Discovery Channel. In 2007, China was featured on The Culture Show, where he was interviewed and drove Arthur Smith along with other performers around the Edinburgh Festival. Together with Penny Mallory, Tony Mason, and Alex Riley, he presented a miniseries for the UK that explored the history and culture of classic cars, aimed at classic car fans, called Classic Car Club for the Discovery Channel, which debuted in 2005. In 2003, Discovery Channel hired China and paired him with TV presenter Mike Brewer to create a new car show, Wheeler Dealers. This show became the most well-known work for both China and Brewer, and they co-hosted it for 13 seasons, from 2003 to 2017. On March 21, 2017, China announced on his YouTube channel that he was leaving Wheeler Dealers due to disagreements about the show's direction. After achieving success as a special effects technician on the comedy show Father Ted, China launched Comfy Banana Limited in March 1999 to showcase his unique creations. In 2001, he was featured in an interview on ITV's Pulling Power discussing the vehicles from Comfy Banana. Then in 2006, he appeared on ITV's This Morning to talk about his Comfy Banana vehicles. In 2009, China established Grease Junkie Limited, which has a website selling merchandise related to Wheeler Dealers and Grease Junkie, and took on the role of managing director. He also owned an MOT and servicing garage named Grease Junkie in Bracknell, Berkshire, which was voluntarily liquidated in August 2016. On May 1, 2018, China launched his new series, Edd China's Garage Revival, on his YouTube channel. He frequently uploads content to his Edd China YouTube channel featuring videos that highlight his adventures after Wheeler Dealers. He also engages with fans through the Ask Edd series. In April 2021, Edd China's Workshop Diaries debuted on Edd's personal YouTube channel, showcasing various projects in his workshop. China has set several Guinness World Record titles, including the fastest toilet, bed, milk float, and the largest motorized shopping trolley, among other achievements. He held the record for the fastest shed from 2011 to 2017, until it was broken by Fastest Shed. In 2007, due to his attempts at breaking records, China appeared on various shows, like Fifth Gear, Pulling Power, and This Morning, where he showcased his inventions. In 2012, China teamed up with BTCC driver Tom Onslow Cole for an eBay-sponsored challenge to transform a milk float into a drag racer, which ultimately earned a spot in the Guinness World Records for being the world's fastest milk float. While Edd was reinventing himself, Mike Brewer kept Wheeler Dealers alive. He brought in new co-hosts. So, who really is Mike Brewer? Mike Brewer. Growing up with cars all around him because his dad was really into customizing them, Mike found his love for motoring when he was a teenager and realized this was the path he wanted to take for his career. He jumped into the motor trade and quickly earned a reputation for being sharp and trustworthy, setting up the largest 4x4 center in southern England in no time, bringing in cars from all over the world. Mike's entry into television was totally by chance. He picked up a friend's phone call and ended up chatting with a TV producer. After a long conversation filled with stories, he got hired for the first season of Deals on Wheels. His success in that role opened the door for him to become the host of Driven on Channel 4, and he went on to work on Auto Trader, Pulling Power, Deals on Wheels, Wrecks to Riches, Revved Up, and even some other non-motoring shows for Discovery Channel and ITV. In 2010, Mike faced his biggest motoring challenge yet, frontline battle machines. He journeyed to the front line in war-torn Afghanistan to discover what kind of machinery the troops had to use in one of the most perilous places on the planet. He experienced more than he expected when he found himself in the middle of an attack and gained a new legion of fans among soldiers worldwide who appreciated his understanding of their working conditions. Mike has also hosted televised motorsport events like the British Rally Championships and the Isle of Man TT, and he is a favorite at motoring exhibitions globally, including the UK's largest classic motoring show. Still a car trader at heart, Mike has recently opened Mike Brewer Motors dealerships in Luton and Sheffield with his wife Michelle. He has also initiated the only annual awards for used car dealers in the UK. Mike has received numerous awards, including the Royal Television Society's Best in Vision Personality and Broadcast Journalist of the Year on 2 occasions. As a patron of Seesaw Oxford Charity and the Sporting Bears Motor Club, Mike is frequently seen at live events raising funds for charitable causes. He is the chairman of Coventry Transport Museum and serves as an ambassador for Ben Charity, Gardex, and Ford. Brewer was born in 1964 in Lambeth, London, to Roger Wilkes and Doreen Fitzgerald. His father, Roger, once owned a Ford Popular named Mr. Popstar and was deeply involved in customizing vehicles, which sparked Brewer's love for cars. Brewer's first car was a beige Mini 850cc. Brewer has hosted several television shows, including Driven on Channel 4, Deals on Wheels, Pulling Power, Wrecks to Riches, Auto Trader, Wheeler Dealers, and Wheeler Dealers Trading Up. Except for Driven and Pulling Power, all these shows later aired on the Discovery Channel. He also appeared in a series called Revved Up, where cars are modified, and he covers the British Rally Championship on Sky Sports. Additionally, he hosted a show named Remote Madness, featuring competitors with remote-controlled mini-cars, boats, planes, and helicopters racing in various challenges. In 2010, Brewer shifted gears and led a new Discovery Channel series called Frontline Battle Machines, where he traveled to Afghanistan to accompany frontline troops and showcase their motorized equipment. At one point, his helicopter was hit by enemy fire, injuring the pilot and damaging a hydraulic line, which forced an emergency landing. In October 2003, Brewer was brought on by the Discovery Channel to host their new car show, Wheeler Dealers. When it premiered, the show was a hit and featured Edd China as the co-host and mechanic. After some production changes, China left the show in 2017 and was succeeded by Ant Anstead. In 2013, a spin-off of Wheeler Dealers was launched, named Wheeler Dealers Trading Up. The show showcased Brewer traveling globally, buying and selling different cars with the ultimate aim of owning a supercar. In January 2020, the Discovery Channel premiered a spin-off series called Wheeler Dealers Dream Car. In this series, Mike Brewer and former Formula One mechanic Mark Elvis Priestley assist car owners in trading their unwanted vehicles for the car of their dreams. Besides his television career, Brewer remains active in the automotive industry, having opened Mike Brewer Motors in 2012. This dealership, located in Sheffield, was nominated for Auto Trader's Dealership of the Year in 2022. Additionally, he has established the only annual awards for used car dealers in the UK. Brewer holds several advanced licenses, a racing license, an advanced driving license, and a world speed license, which permits him to participate in world speed events. Brewer is married to his wife Michelle. They reside in Warwickshire and have one daughter. Before the backlash, there was just Mike, Ed, and a dream to flip cars on TV. Every car has a backstory, so does every car show. Let's look into how it all started at Wheeler Dealers. Wheeler Dealers Company. Wheeler Dealers is a British television show that was first made by Attaboy TV for the Discovery Channel in the UK and for Motor Trend in the US. The show is hosted by car lover and former dealer Mike Brewer, along with mechanics Edd China, Ant Anstead, and Mark Priestley. The concept of the show involves the hosts trying to rescue old and fixable cars by repairing or enhancing a specific make and model within a budget, and then selling it to a new owner. The show was created by Daniel Allam and Michael Wood, who are the founding directors of Attaboy TV and have been car enthusiasts for a long time. Series 1 premiered in 2003. Series 5 was renamed Wheeler Dealers on the Road, where Brewer and China traveled across Europe in search of classic cars to purchase and restore. The latter half of Series 6 was broadcast in the fall of 2009 on Discovery Real Time. Starting with Part 2 of Series 8, Brewer broadened their scope by touring the United States. In Series 12, Brewer and China established a new workshop in a rented bay at Huntington Beach Body Works, located at Redondo Circle, Huntington Beach, California. This choice was made to allow them to produce more episodes of the show and enabled them to restore and sell cars right there, rather than having to ship them back to the UK. After setting up the American operation, it relocated to a more appropriate location at Research Drive, Huntington Beach. Series 17 marked the return of filming to the UK. Wheeler Dealers has led to several spin-off series, including Wheeler Dealers Trading Up, where Brewer travels globally trying to trade his way up to a supercar. Wheeler Dealers Dream Car, in which Brewer and mechanic Mark Elvis Priestley use their skills to enhance the value of clients' cars to help them upgrade to their dream vehicle. And the latest, Wheeler Dealers World Tour. In every episode, Brewer purchases a vehicle, hands it over to his mechanic for repairs, and then sells it. The budget for the first series was €1,000, while for Series 2 it was €2,000, and for Series 3 it was €3,000. The budgets for later series have changed based on the vehicle being targeted. For instance, in Series 6, a budget of €10,000 was allocated for buying and restoring a Ferrari Dino 308 GT4. In Series 11, the budget is noted on the show's Discovery UK website as up to €20,000. Each project is usually presented in a similar TV style. Up to Series 6, the project was shown in two 30-minute episodes. However, starting from Series 7, the format switched to single 60-minute episodes, including commercials. The show was designed with DIY enthusiasts in mind. The expenses, and therefore any profit or loss from a project, are evaluated without factoring in the mechanic's labor costs. The idea is that a skilled and well-equipped enthusiast could do all the work themselves. However, if repairs need professional assistance, such as body resprays, complex electronics, or windscreen replacements, those costs are included in the final expenses. Each vehicle also has details about its service history, any bodywork issues like rust or dents, and worn-out interiors and accessories. Cars that have been sitting idle for a long time or those bought from outside the UK are fixed up and modified to meet the country's required MOT test. Like many similar shows, Wheeler Dealers includes a lot of incidental advertising on screen. Logos for tools, supplies, and equipment are always shown prominently. Specialist repairers for parts and subsystems, as well as upholsterers, get enough exposure in exchange for good price deals. Sometimes, parts and equipment are even provided for free. Mike Brewer uses his expertise as a car trader to find and purchase used cars that can be restored and sold for a profit. He also takes care of getting replacement parts and sometimes hires specialists to refurbish expensive components. Edd China was recognized as the co-presenter of the show from Series 1 to 13, where he handled much of the restoration and mechanical work, offering viewers advice on how to fix various car issues and estimating repair costs at garages. However, there were always two other mechanics credited as well. On March 21, 2017, Velocity revealed that China had exited the show to pursue other projects, and that Ant Anstead would take over his role in Series 14. China stated that he decided to leave due to disagreements with the channel, which wanted to reduce the extent of his repairs and the level of technical details shared in the workshop. On November 2, 2020, it was announced that Mark Elvis Priestley would take over from Ansted as the main mechanic for Series 17 when the show returns to the UK after 6 years of filming in the US. Nevertheless, Ansted will still make occasional appearances as a special guest. Since Series 13, the show has been produced by Discovery Studios, taking over from Attaboy TV, which had been responsible for the previous 12 seasons for Motor Trend. Guest appearances on other shows. While acquiring more American cars for the show, Brewer visited Chip Foose during the June 2, 2013 episode of Overhaulin', where Foose showcased the 1972 Lotus Europa he was customizing. In April 2013, a new spin-off series called Wheeler Dealers Trading Up was introduced. This show was made by X2 Productions Limited and features Brewer traveling globally to buy and sell used cars without fixing or restoring them, all with the goal of eventually acquiring a supercar. In the first season, he started with $3,000 and managed to trade up to a Porsche 911. The Discovery Channel International renewed the series for a second season, during which Brewer purchased a Ferrari. A second spin-off series named Wheeler Dealers Dream Car debuted in January 2020, where Brewer and mechanic Mark Elvis Priestley used their skills to enhance the value of clients' cars, helping them trade up to their dream vehicles. In 2024, a third spin-off series was launched called Wheeler Dealers World Tour. It started airing in May 2024, featuring Brewer and mechanic Mark Elvis Priestley as they travel the globe to find cars that they will restore and sell. Brewer has utilized various vehicles on Wheeler Dealers to travel and check out potential cars, as well as tow them if they aren't operational or street legal. Between Series 9 and 12, Brewer drove a Mitsubishi Shogun around England. Before Series 9, he used a dark turquoise Nissan Primera Estate, a blue Subaru Legacy Estate, a red Honda Accord Tourer, a black SsangYong Rexton 2, a dark blue SsangYong Chiron, a black Land Rover Discovery 4, a blue Nissan X-Trail, and a light blue Ford Kuga. In Series 8A, he drove a black X-Trail. For Series 12B, he transported the Messerschmitt KR200 back to the workshop using a white Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. During his trip to France in Series 5 to buy a Citroën DS, Brewer rented a black Opel Zafira with French registration. He rented a newer Zafira when he went back to France to purchase the Renault Alpine A310 in Series 9A. When he returned to buy the Citroën 2CV in Series 11A, he used a silver Toyota Corolla Verso that was also French registered. On his next trip to France in Series 12B, he rented a gray Audi Q3 with French registration to buy the Citroën HY. In trading up, Brewer drove a white Toyota Fortuner that belonged to a used car dealer in India. In Dubai, his contact took him around in a white Ferrari F430. When he was in Texas, Brewer drove a gray C2 Corvette. The series featured various taxicabs, including a yellow Hindustan Ambassador Grand and a green and yellow Bajaj RE in India, a black LTC TX4 in the UK, a black Toyota Crown Comfort in Japan, a yellow and red Volkswagen sedan Type 1 in Mexico, a white Ford Falcon in Australia, a white Chevrolet Onix sedan in Brazil, a yellow Dodge Charger in Texas, and a yellow Fiat 600 Multipla in Italy. For hire cars, he rented a black Mitsubishi Shogun in the UK, a black Chrysler Grand Voyager in Brazil, a dark red GMC Yukon in Texas, a gray Land Rover Discovery 3 in Poland, and a white Fiat 500 in Italy. In Poland, while Brewer was taking the Fiat 126P to get a vinyl wrap, he borrowed a gray Opel Movano to transport the car to the vinyl wrapping shop. In the Wheeler Dealers Top U.S. Specials, Brewer was seen in a shop in China, standing in front of a red C2 Corvette. On the 2nd of April, 2012, the Swedish version of the Discovery Channel showcased a special episode named Wheeler Dealers Sverige Special, Wheeler Dealers Sweden Special. In this episode, the Swedish hosts purchased a Ford Mustang for 55,000 SEK. After refurbishing the brake calipers, replacing the engine, and giving the car a fresh paint job, they managed to sell it for 135,000 SEK, resulting in a total profit of 28,000 SEK. The success of the original UK series inspired a French-language spin-off called Wheeler Dealers France, which debuted on October 10, 2016, on RMC Découverte. The series is hosted by Jerry Blyenberg and Aurélien Letou. Brewer made a special guest appearance in Season 2, Episode 1 of the show.